Hello, everyone. Hope we're all having a wonderful day. As always, like with these podcasts, if oh wait,
Oh god.
I've figured out an issue. Uh, Small issue. Don't worry. It's just that it says streaming mode is enabled right above your face. So let's just do that. Do this, and let's just make that go a bit bigger, like so. Wait, that's the wrong one. There we go. That's the right one. Do that. Move you slightly so that you're in the frame. Nice!
Okay.
Fine,
You happy?
technical difficulties. But other than that, we good. But yeah, as always, to anyone who's watching this live, I will not. I've got channel points turned off because we don't want them interrupting the conversations. And if you send a message or if you do something nice, like host or something like that, I will say it silently in the chat. I will not verbally say it because this is a podcast. And speaking of which, our second guest of all time, fittingly enough, it's SecondHandCK. So welcome in.
Hello.
I hope you're having a wonderful day. How are you doing on this day, CK?
I'm doing alright, thank you. I'm happy to be here. I'm excited.
Yeah, excited. Uh, but yeah, I feel like when it comes to how long have we known each other? Over a year. Like we've known each other since like December or November of 2020, haven't we?
I don't.
Vaguely.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
I'm very bad at keeping track of anything.
yeah. Like if I
Um,
remember correctly, uh, and I don't really remember a lot correctly.
no.
I know you through either Rach or Paige. I can't
I
remember.
would probably say Paige.
Yeah,
I had in my mind probably Paige.
yeah. Because I think they were playing I think it was Resident Evil 7 at the time. And that was the first time that I came across a Page stream because either Page was raided or Page was shouted out, and I just thought, you know what, let's go over there. And I think that's how I ran into you because you were also in that. Oh, excuse me, in that stream. I think that's how we met for the first time, but that was not the first time. Oh, CK, your base cam. Oh, okay, we're back. We're back. Don't worry. uh, but yeah, the first time we met was like through that stream. I didn't. When was the first time that we collabed though? That was quite a while after, wasn't it?
Yeah. Quite a while. Yeah, it was the first thing we did. Probably a Minecraft one.
Yeah, I think it was our first Minecraft roller coaster build. That
Mm.
was yeah. I can't remember when that happened. I want to say either March, April, or May time, but I can't.
Uh, it would have been quite early on because it was before we did. Uh, it was before we announced that I was having a baby because
Yeah, because that
we
was
did.
we did that with Sean. Like keep talking with
Yeah,
Sean.
me and Sean did that, and then because it was just after that we did it, and that was in
It was your stream anniversary, wasn't it?
March or April.
Yeah, March or
Yeah, so
April.
yeah, that was April. So maybe
Yeah,
March we did our first
yeah. I
collab.
think that was March. That makes sense. Jesus Christ, 2021 went quickly. Uh, yeah. And the funny thing is, like before that one, we before that keep talking with Sean, we did one of our own, didn't we? Uh,
Yes, yeah,
and that's
yeah, we did do a
how
keep talking.
I think that was how we
Maybe
knew we
keep
could get
talking
along.
was. I think maybe the keep talking was the first thing we did actually.
Oh, actually, yeah, yeah. It might have been. I think it was keep talking that we did first. Uh, because we then went on
Hmm.
to do the keep talking with Sean, and then you came
Yeah.
to me about a Minecraft roller coaster, and I was like, you know, why not? Why not? That makes sense now. We've lined it up perfectly. uh,
Yes.
but yeah, how many we've had quite a few streams where we just collabed. Not always co-streams, but we were just like involved in each other's streams.
Hey, Bonsai.
Hey Bonsai.
Sorry,
the,
talking to chat.
the
It's habit.
advantage, yeah, it is a habit. But how are you doing, Bonsai? I hope you're having a wonderful day. Um, yeah, so we've had a grand total of 2 Keep Talking streams. I think
Yep.
2 Minecraft Roller Coaster streams. And then for your
Yep.
birthday, we had a Minecraft stream with a few other friends.
Yes, with Billy and Jay, we did
Yeah,
Minecraft Golf.
and we did it with someone else, didn't we? I can't. I don't think it was Prez. It might have been Prez, but I don't think it was Prez. I think it was someone else. No, it was Ego.
Wasn't it just 4 of us? Was there a 5th one? Have I forgotten somebody?
I feel like it was.
Oh, Nern was in it as well,
No.
wasn't he?
Yeah,
Yes.
I feel like.
Oh man.
Yeah, that makes sense because there were 5 of us. Yeah, that was a fun time, and
Yeah.
I don't think we had a collab since that day. Uh,
No.
until now.
No, I don't think we have.
Yeah, because
Until now.
Yeah, until now. Yeah, it's been like you're definitely. I don't know if it's you or Cookie that I've collabed with the most because I've had quite a few COD Zombie streams with Cookie where we just broke records. But
Hmm.
yeah, like you're certainly the first person that I've directly collabed with.
Well, what an honor.
Yeah, what an honor. What an honor to have you, we should say. Uh, yeah, and that being said, despite the fact that we've known each other over a year, uh, I still don't know like exactly like when you started streaming. So if you want to talk about that.
I don't either.
Oh.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it, definitely.
Well,
Because
you had a bit where you lagged. Start that from the beginning because it was like you're
sorry,
like I don't know either. Yeah, and then you just stopped and then everything just caught up.
sorry. Um, I'm gonna close a few background thingies.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know exactly either. I know it was in April, 2020.
Yeah, because I feel
Um,
like if I remember, you announced your arrival or that you're expecting on your stream anniversary.
I did, but there is some issue. It was either because basically I know Billy started the week before me. But then when I said it was my anniversary, his was the week after when I actually did mine, which suggests that maybe mine was the weekend after what I actually thought it was.
Yeah.
I don't know. I know it's roughly the middle of April, and I'm really annoyed that I didn't write down the actual. My first stream was on a Sunday, and I did the persistent VR because when I was talking about starting streaming, I was asking people what they thought would be good, and my brother-in-law was like, "Hey, you should do some horror games because people like watching streamers get scared." So my first stream was doing a VR stream of the persistent.
Uh-oh.
With
More connection issues, I'm afraid. CK. You said the persistent. I think that was the last thing you said.
oh, sorry.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, it's the persistence is like a VR like horror sci-fi sort of. I guess it's kind of like a roguelike, but in the way that every time you die, all like the layout of the place changes, so it's like you can't learn your route to get to where you want to go.
Yeah.
Um,
I've never seen that. It's like I'm a person who actively avoids horror. I'm sure you can tell. Like the fact that I'm a fan of watching stuff like Until Dawn and Resident Evil 7, I outright just can't play them because I'm just too terrified to do so. So I have like the
that's fair.
utmost respect for anyone who not only like uh plays them but also does it regularly. And I guess like I mean I think the both of us like could be considered zombie-based streamers, considering we do a lot of zombie-based streams. Uh,
Yeah.
But also, I feel like you're more of a horror-based streamer as well because of the amount of horror games that you've played.
Well, I mean, I have recently just started doing another horror game. I've just started playing In Sound Mine, which is really good.
Uh-oh. And has the absolute legend returned?
Yes. Hey, is
He
this
has
better?
returned. It is a lot better. Is this better? Uh, yeah, I was just talking about what else you do. Like we talked about how you play a lot of horror and you play a lot of zombies, but you're more of a variety streamer because uh
Yes.
yeah, you've played retro games like Legend of Zelda and Mario, and you've also been
Yep.
playing some Yakuza recently. The most recent Yakuza, I think.
Oh my god, I've been playing Yakuza forever.
Yeah.
I really like that game. It was really good, but I'm actually sort of getting to the point where I'm like, I kind of would like it to be over now.
Yeah, I feel like when I see the story of the Yakuza games, or like I see like recommendations saying Yakuza 6,
Mm.
full cutscenes, and it's like 9 hours long, and I was just thinking to myself, well, knowing what I know about Yakuza 0, it can be like a bit repetitive in terms of like the gameplay, so 9 hours worth of
Um,
cutscenes seems like a bit much.
I don't know. I mean, I imagine if you put all the cutscenes from Red Dead 2, you'd probably be close to a similar sort of time.
Oh, well, if you put all the cutscenes together in Red Dead, you get 20 hours.
Well, exactly.
But you get a lot.
I think
I think you get a lot
I
more
don't know.
variety though when it comes to Red Dead 2. Just simply just like that. You can horse ride everywhere, but also you can do fast travel and stuff like that, so you can cut the time down. And also you got
Hmm.
things like just you know, talking to bitrate, calm down, bitrate, bitrate. Jesus Christ. I don't know why it says red. The okay, now it's down to 2,000. That's right. This has just become technical difficulties to the stream, hasn't it? Calm down. Come on. There we go. Back. No, no. Behave. Behave. Are you behaving? It's behaving. Okay. Uh, yeah, this has definitely become technical difficulties. The stream. Which
It's
is,
okay though.
you know what? That's going to be a double upload for me. It's just for me. It's going to be the cut down for the podcast as one. Then it's going to be moments of just all the technical difficulties that we have in this one stream. uh,
So I used to do a podcast with Wade, um, and I did that at the end of every year when we took our like Christmas break. I'd also release a thing of all of our like cut out outtakes and stuff that were mostly just like technical difficulties or
yeah.
things.
Uh, yeah. Wade's like you say that you and Wade did a podcast. What was that podcast about?
There's a fantasy fighting podcast called Mishmash Mayhem, um, and it was all about like we'd pick two fictional characters and we'd talk about what their skills and stuff were, and then decide which one would win in a fight.
Oh yeah.
And it kind of had like a winner stays on sort of thing. So if you won, they'd go on to the next episode and have to take on someone else.
Oh, that sounds that like I remember you were describing it to me once before about the
Mm.
podcast, and it actually seems like a very interesting podcast. It's like what would happen if you mixed D&D with a tournament. I think in a sense.
Yeah, I guess the most similar sort of thing that people would probably know would be like Death Battle.
Oh yeah.
Um, and but we tried to like do. I mean, I guess there's probably lots of other things out there. I guess Death Battle is sort of the famous one, but like we tried to sort of do things to make it our own. Like we had the thing called the Die of Death, where every episode would roll a d20, and we had like a list of different places, and then like depending on what number we got, that's like where the fight would take place. And obviously we wouldn't know where the fight was going to happen until we were like actually like recording, and so we'd roll the dice while we were doing it. It was very unplanned, and um, it was a lot of fun to do. But we had some like really interesting things where like our very first episode, the fight took place in a hospital.
Ooh, hospital. Yeah.
Like we had one of them was the fight took place in the back of a taxi. One of them, it was like on a train from Southampton to London.
It just seems like the
One
most
of the
mad lads. Like
yeah,
I can imagine that
but
just being
then
like you can just write all these things, like one character just going to these places and accidentally starting a fight with someone. Uh,
yeah, oh that was it, and it was I don't know. Like one of them was on top of Mount Snowdon. Uh, but then we had some more normal things, where it's like, well, we had a fight in a boxing ring one time. Like it was,
yeah, like it
but
can
it was good
range.
fun.
I think the most ridiculous one that I heard out of all that is back of a taxi. Uh, like
Yeah, and that was well, actually no, I think only one of them was in the back. One of them was in the passenger seat, and one of them was in the back seat, and they were on a taxi going down. I can't remember what it was. We looked up what the longest like straight road in the world was, or something, and I think it was a road in Australia. Um, we were just like, yeah, it's driving down this road, and because I remember that one of them was in the front because it was Siegmeier, who is the Onion. I can't remember who he was fighting, but I know that he was sitting in the front, and we're trying to decide whether or not his armor would be restrictive to turn around and sort of fight somebody behind him.
yeah, I feel like if you're going to go for the most ridiculous one, you'd have to make it the most like you have to go for the most ridiculous characters and the most ridiculous thing. And I feel like in that sense, who would you choose for that? Like, if like from the top of the head, who would be your two most like insane like fighting like battle?
Um, I mean, I feel like any cartoon character that sort of defies physics and logic, like one of the Looney Tunes or something, would be a really cool thing. Like because they always get like splattered or like whatever, and it doesn't matter. So
Bugs
something
Bunny
like that.
versus Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, they don't really have violence in Winnie the Pooh, but I mean, like it's certainly something like Bugs Bunny or Daffy Duck or something. Because I
Yeah,
guess Bugs Bunny's the hero. Not much normally happens to him, but like Daffy Duck blows up all the time or whatever, and it
oh yeah.
just shrugs it off. So he'd be a really cool. If you were going to go for absolutely just mental characters,
We
he'd
go
be really fun.
Daffy versus Donald, and
Yeah, duck off.
yeah.
I
Uh,
like that on your channel. We're now talking about ducks.
oh yeah, it is. It's inescapable. It's unavoidable. Even without the sound alert, we're still talking about ducks. I don't know how we've gotten this far with just duck conversations, but we got there. It's just going to be Daffy Duck versus Donald Duck,
Mm.
and I feel
Who
like
is the ultimate duck?
yeah,
And then
and
like they'd have to fight in like a hoisin sauce factory, surely.
I was thinking something more like a plane that's about to crash into Golden Gate Bridge. In terms of ridiculousness. And then at one point they just end up not on the bridge but in the sea, and so they're just doing like what ducks do and just chilling out. That's how they turn into just normal ducks.
Yeah, they just become ducks.
They just
They
become
just live a new life.
yeah.
But they end up having a nice time in a pond, getting some bread off some old people.
embracing their natural instincts instead of the artificial ones that were given to them by writers.
Yeah, that's it. And it's pretty. Um,
Yeah. Awkward silence there.
yeah.
Yeah, like yeah, I feel like when it comes to like your streams and your content and stuff like that, you've actually done quite a bit over the past year, not just streaming, but like I said with the podcast. Has there been anything else that you've either had the idea of doing or like you like had the idea of doing or you have done, even if it didn't work out?
Um, no, I don't think so. I mean, I think like those are the kind of the main things I've done as far as like content goes. I mean, it'd be really nice to start doing the podcast again. The problem is it's really difficult with Wade's work because he like works on ships and stuff. So he'll go away for like 3 months at a time and then be back for like a month. And when he's back, he doesn't necessarily have the time because he needs to catch up with like his girlfriend and like family and stuff.
Yeah,
Um,
very
so
like when you told me about like what you do for your daily routine, I thought, wow, that's a busy life. And then I heard what
Mm.
Wade does, and I'm like, holy fuck, how is he still alive?
I mean, you get used to it, don't you? Like, if that's your life, that's your life. Like, at the end of the day, bills need to be paid. Um,
Yeah,
but and I suppose the flip side to his thing is he gets quite a lot of time off. It just means that when he is at work, he works hard because he does 12-hour shifts 7 days a week for like 2 or 3 months at a time. But then he'll get a month off.
yeah.
Um,
Uh, let's say
uh,
let's try to do the math there. 2, 3 months at a time. We'll say 3 months, 1 month off. So
yeah,
that's 9 out of 12 months a year.
I mean that sounds about right.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Or if it's 2 months, it'll be six, and then six.
Yeah, it's probably closer to nine. I'd have thought, but
Yeah,
I don't know. You'd have to ask him.
yeah. To be fair, he works on what, like a cruise ship or something like that.
No, it's on like a science, like a research ship and stuff. Like
Uh,
he's a geologist.
that makes sense.
I mean, I don't know exactly what he does. Something to do with mud
uh,
and like so whether or not there's likely to be oil and I don't know something about oil and mud and stuff. I don't know. You'd have to talk to him. It's very complicated, and my brain is stupid.
yeah. I mean, I will also probably just my mind will probably also go blank just by hearing this. I may just end up like falling asleep just trying to process the information, let alone
Yeah.
understand it. Yeah, like that being said, like you and Wade are like real life friends, aren't you? So, uh,
Yes, I've known him since I was 3 years old. So I've known him for 28 years now.
bloody hell, 28 years. That is a long friendship and a strong one as
Mm.
well. If it's lasting that long. Uh, yeah. And he also streams, doesn't he? So, well, when he can
He
stream, at
does.
least.
Yeah, he certainly did a while ago. I know he was sort of saying he was going to try and do some streams at the beginning of this year. I don't know if that's like still the plan, but he certainly did stream last year.
Yeah, he did. Like that's how I knew him because I knew him through you. Uh,
Mm.
I'm guessing. I'm going to assume here. I'm guessing that the reason why he started streaming is because he saw you streaming, and he thought he'd give it a go.
Um, yeah, there's probably some influence there. It wasn't like I was like, "Hey, you should do streaming," but I think it's like I say where he has like a block of time off. He sort of just needed something to do with his time. Saw me
Yeah,
doing it and just thought, hey, that would be fun. I haven't played Zelda in a while. Let's do it on stream.
yeah,
And he did a lot of Fire Emblem as well.
yeah. He did a lot of Pokemon as well, didn't he? If I remember correctly. Uh, yeah. I think he did a lot of like Nintendo based stuff. I think, or like a lot of
Yeah,
yeah.
well, only streamed from his Switch and his N64. He's
Yeah,
quite a Nintendo boy.
yeah. That being said, like I said, I'm not. I don't know what. Like you said, Wade's aims were just to like pass the time. I guess like during the times that he did have off and not much
Mm.
to do. And when you started streaming, what were your aims? Would you say?
When I started streaming,
Yeah,
it was very much like because obviously I like a lot of people. I started in lockdown and stuff, and I'd been because I'm like immune compromised. I got furloughed. Um, So I was like, well, and then at that point, I really had only made a Twitch account because I wanted to watch Rage. Um, and I was just like, man, this is really cool, like watching her. And she's got all of these people coming to see her, and she can just like give joy and wonder to people for like a few hours a day. And then I was like, I know so many people who are stuck at home at the moment who are bored and lonely and like upset, like just in my friends, and there must be so many of them elsewhere as well. And I was like, wouldn't it be really cool if I can just make this little place where they can come and hang out, and even if it's just for like a few hours a week, they've got something to do and someone to talk to.
yeah. And I think
Um,
when it came to everyone who did start streaming in lockdown, we all had that same idea where it's just like we didn't really have much to do. We couldn't really, no one could really go outside unless it was to do something like shopping. So we couldn't like
Mm.
have trips to places or anything like that. So we thought to ourselves, you know what, fuck it, we'll start streaming, and it'll either be like, and the reasons will normally be either to pass the time yourself or to give someone else like a place to be because, uh, like the world is struggling, and the least we can do is provide something for those who can't really do much.
Yeah, so that was sort of it because I know, like my friend Jamie, she was sort of saying like she's a very very social person. And she sort of struggled at the start of lockdown, like I know a lot of people did, and she sort of said to me a few times, "Oh, it's really nice that I've
I'm
got your
sorry.
streams as
I don't speak
something to do and like
Japanese.
some sort of interactivity." And it was just nice to be able to like give that because I started off doing like I think I did 3 streams a week. I did like a Sunday morning, Monday morning, and a Wednesday morning,
Yeah,
which is why my first emote was like the sleepy sloth, was because I was just always so knackered because I'm not a morning person. So to get up at 9 in the morning to start streaming was just like, oh my god.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, so we always did that, and then I started really liking it. So Katie, because she didn't need to be furloughed, because and I was just like, hey, I'm going to start doing like a 4th stream every week, and she's like, make sure you're not like tiring yourself out while pushing it. And then I was like, no, I really want to do it. And then I was like, okay. And then after like a couple of weeks, I was like, I'm going to do a 5th stream a week. I'm really committing to this. It's great. I love it. Yeah.
and that's how burnout occurs normally. Like you're just like, I'm loving it, and then suddenly you just stop.
No, never. I never had stream burnout when I was on furlough. Um, and it sounds really bad to say because obviously the like COVID crisis is a bad thing and lots of people have died and that, and it's in no way a good thing, but it was genuinely like one of the best times I've had
Yeah,
because I could be on and it was awful because everyone was like, oh, I'm really depressed because I'm stuck inside and I can't do anything, and I was like, it's great, I'm stuck inside and I can't do anything. Like, and
yeah.
because I just sort of think people viewed it the wrong way. It was like, hey, you can't go to work and stuff. You now have all the time to do the things you've never had time to do. Go and do them.
And
And
then
I
you realise about
and
half the stuff that you do involves going outside, and you're like, shit.
I mean, not so much. I'm really not. I'm really not like a going out person.
Yeah,
I guess like my normal thing is if I had all the time in the world, I'd sit around playing video games. So it was like, why not do that, but also make friends?
yeah, that's definitely the best reason for streaming is just like not just to provide something for those who can't do anything, but also like to meet like-minded individuals, to make those friends, to play games with them. And
Right?
I feel like uh, I feel like we both could speak for this because you say that you're not a very go outy person, uh,
Mm.
but I'm sure like what streaming has done is like put more confidence in us, so that even though we're not really go outy people, we do have like a bit of confidence that we didn't have before, I guess.
Um, Possibly. I don't know. I'm very weird with social interaction. I've always found it easy to talk to an audience. Like I can go on stage or whatever and like do a thing. It's still, but I find it very difficult unless it's somebody I know quite well, which is why this is okay. But like I find it very difficult talking to a one-on-one. Has always been my issue. Um, Especially with people I don't know. Like it doesn't. I try to hide it and like make it not come across in sort of things that I do. But like in the real life, I'm like quite a shy sort of person. Which actually, I think a lot of like streamers sort of say that. Like in real
Yeah,
life, they're sort of quite, or not even just streamers, just like performers in general or anything.
yeah, like just they keep themselves to themselves because they don't really want like to suffer the stress of interaction or something like that.
Yeah,
Uh,
I mean, I can remember having to go to like work events and stuff in the past where it's like, hey, there'll be about 50 people here and you won't know any of them. And I would spend the whole thing nervously in the corner, just not talking to anyone and being bored because I can't talk to people. Whereas I can sit here, like, or on a stream or something, and I could just chat away with anyone I don't know. I don't know why it's different, but it is.
I guess it's because like when it comes to talking online compared to talking in public, it's that you're not going to be in part of a physical fight. You're not going to get physically threatened by anything. Like the worst that is going to happen is, say, what happened with me the other week, where someone came
Mm,
in, tried to troll me, and then tried to fucking like, and then started calling me like stuff like the C word, and shit like that, and got banned. Then I raided Nebby, and then this
mm.
person just said that I was being a bully and shit like that, saying you should ban this person. And I was like, Nebby, just please ban this person. And instead, Nebby gave me mod, and I banned them. And then their last words were, Chris, I have your IP. Uh, and I'm still waiting for them to, do something.
Well, yeah.
So yeah, like any threats that you get on the internet, they're normally empty. And where if you go to like a public interaction, I think you'll find
Mm.
that it's like some people, especially if they've had a few drinks, will be more inclined to fight. Uh, over
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, I mean, luckily, other than outside of work, I don't actually like. I haven't really had any sort of confrontation with angry people in real life in a long time, which is nice.
Yeah. Uh, yeah, like,
Uh,
and
but like as far as sort of like online, I've only had like one person like troll ever. I guess trolling is really more of a problem for people who have sort of made it like quite big in streaming, or at least like moderately big. I guess where like my channel is still pretty small, it's not really an issue.
yeah.
Thankfully, I've had like one person who came in who just like spammed like fuck in the chat constantly, and that's all they would say. And then I was like, I understand that you think you're being like smart and funny, but you're an extra view, so crack on.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's just a case of, like, someone just, like, trying to come in and troll the things, and, like, they don't dare to say anything offensive, because,
Mm,
that could ruin someone. Uh, and at the end of the day, they just do stupid things like that. And the thing is, like, with the person who came and trolled me the other week, they were saying like out of bounds questions as well, saying like, do I have like the one that stuck with me is they were asking me if I had autism, and I'm just like, that's not something that you fucking ask a random person that you just met on the internet. And
mm.
so yeah, that's where I just immediately got the decision to ban them.
And also like, also like with autism especially, like it's a spectrum, right? So everybody has it to a degree.
Yeah, like I guess that is true. Like like I've never really had like any like mental health stuff like that tested yet. I say yet.
No.
I say yet because I do plan to have one happening next month.
All right.
For just my basic mental health to see if
Mm,
see where on the spectrum I might be, if I'm on on that spectrum at all. See if I have depression or anxiety. And I feel like the one thing that's once again talking about streaming, what it helps with is uh like either escaping from like having a bit of an escape from it, or help you confront it, or just help you to be you and not
mm,
worry about what your mental health like might do to make things worse, because for the most part most people, like when you interact with them, that like they all like really suffer like from mental health conditions of some description. So
mm.
like in that sense there's a sense of empathy about it, so you don't really feel like even when you're a streamer or when you're a viewer, like you don't feel like you're being left out of a conversation, or you're not feeling like you're being left out because of like you. It's more of a you're like, if you're streaming, then you can stream what you want, and your mental health, like you can either openly talk about it, or you can just like keep it to yourself, and it doesn't really matter which one you choose, because as long as you're having a good time, uh, yeah, that's really at the end of the day what you want the most from streaming, I guess.
Yeah, I guess it definitely depends. It's up to you, like how much of yourself you want to reveal in it. I guess that's why, like in a part, I guess that's why like VTubing's got really popular.
Yeah, because it's similar to
Um,
mental health in that sense, where it's like you can reveal yourself, or you can just give this image of
yeah,
that, and it doesn't really matter as long as you're
yeah,
having a good time. So yeah, I do get that, and knowing of quite a few VTube streamers, not just like whether they be male, female, any part of the LGBTQ plus community or not, uh, it's like it doesn't matter like what style you choose or who you are or how you're born or anything like that. Just yeah, just keep streaming, keep having a good time, and really, I feel like when it comes to streaming in general, it's very similar to like what you focus on, not just as a streamer, but as a what you want to represent in that sense. So yeah, in that, for example, like we were talking about mental health, I feel like I'm a person who takes mental health very seriously. No,
yes,
bit rate, behave. Okay, you behaving, misbehaving. Okay. Uh, but yeah, like I take mental health very seriously, so I make sure that I'm open with my mental health
yeah,
to either help others open up to people that they want to open up to, or to at the very least uh know that they aren't alone in that regard. And I guess in that sense, like that's why the LGBTQ plus tag is used. But yeah, what would you say like when it comes to representation and what you represent, CK? Do you say that you represented more than anything when it comes to streaming?
I don't know. I've never really thought about it.
That's completely
I
fine.
don't know. Uh, I guess just kind of wholesome energy is sort of my thing. Like I don't like really. I sort of think I don't really like mind what people do, like as long as everyone's sort of nice and respectful. Like you can be what you want.
Yeah,
I guess that's kind of like the vibe. I mean, I suppose it's difficult because I don't really necessarily like fall into any categories or anything. I'm just kind of like basic human,
yeah,
you know. So like, so things don't necessarily like come to the forefront of my mind as much as they should, and you know, I probably need to be a bit more progressive than I am. And I'm, you know, that's something that I try and work on, and I try and make sure I'm inclusive to everyone. But I don't necessarily think, oh, I'm going to like represent this group in any way. I just kind of try to be nice to everyone.
yeah. I guess that's also like a good thing as well. Like we talked about what we represent in terms of like whether it be mental health, sexuality, gender, anything like that. But it's also
Mm.
okay to not have any of that. It's also okay to just have no like focus on that and just focus on wholesomeness, like you said, like just providing like something decent enough to be
Yeah,
like either notable or at the very least uh it just makes one person's day. Uh
yeah, that's kind of it. I mean, I suppose I have a bit of mental health like awareness more so than like anything else because I mean, I certainly have like a few, I don't know, issues every now and again, like, and I know a lot of people who do. So I guess maybe like that more sticks out as something I'm kind of more aware of and like maybe a bit better dealing with. But I don't know. I just think it's nice to be nice to everyone, you know, isn't it? Like just
yeah. Uh
try and be all encompassing and all inclusive,
yeah,
as long as you're not a dick.
I think in that regard, that's how you've managed to get a hold of so many like friends, like over the past year on streaming. Like out of all the
Mm,
people that I've met who are streamers, you by far are the person who I've seen like reach out to the most amount of people, like Prez, Kells, and just a handful more, like quite a lot more people. And sometimes you meet them through friends, sometimes you just come across them, and
mm,
like I feel like what that shows about you as a human being is that, uh, yeah, like with that, like stance that you have, it's not just respectable, but it's also like people like that stance, and as a result, people like you. And so people, yeah, like I feel like that just says a lot about you as a person, that people just want to like do these collabs with you, or people want to hang out with you. People are happy when you're in their chats, and people are happy to be in your chats when they can be. I think, yeah.
Thanks. I mean, I hope so. Like, I don't know. I mean, my just sort of like, I guess, life motto thing has always just been, it's nice to be nice.
Yeah,
And I know it sounds really stupid, but like, being nice to people, and
yeah.
isn't it better? Wouldn't it be better if just everyone was always just nice to everyone?
Yeah, unfortunately, like you get those moments where it's like either a misunderstanding or someone feels like provoked, or you just get that one person who is just a dick, and sometimes it can bring out the worst parts in people. I find, no matter where in the world we are, it's just that uh,
Yeah,
something like that will happen, and you will always come to a point where your worst side will be brought out either by someone else or by a circumstance. Uh,
yeah. I mean, obviously, nobody's going to be like perfect and friendly all the time.
yeah,
Everyone has like off days or whatever, or like you say, something will irritate somebody and be taken the wrong way or something. It's not like 100% thing, but I mean, if you can, at least most of the time, just try and be like a decent
yeah.
human,
If you at least, I
and
feel
then
like at least if you try and you try your best, that's all that someone can ask for.
sure, and then and also like if you're sort of say like nice 90% of the time, then people are more likely to excuse the 10% of the time when you mess up or like are a bit of a arse or whatever. Whereas
Yeah,
if you're being a dick most of the time, then people aren't going to be like, oh, he did that one nice thing.
yeah. Unfortunately, I feel like when it comes to, especially when it came to like high school for me, is that you
Mm.
can do these nice things, but people are still going to remember you for that one bad thing, really. Uh,
Yeah,
and
it's very different when you're young, though. You like
yeah,
you sort of don't have the I don't know the maturity to just sort of think, well, let's just put things behind us. A
yeah.
lot more is held on to.
Yeah, and especially when it comes to, like I said, with the maturity of that, it's also a case of like because of that lack of maturity, I feel like that's
Mm.
why, especially like in the modern day, mental health like seems to be a bit more prominent, or at least a bit more in the open eye for this generation, because like people do just remember you like for those bad stuff for the most part back in those days, or back in those days in high school, to the point where it's
Hmm.
like sometimes you just find it hard to forgive yourself for that stuff because no one else seems to. Uh,
Yeah,
and I guess in that regard, like once again, it's like that's what a good reason why streaming is always going to be a good thing, in my opinion, because uh, like there's so many streamers out there who can just say, yeah, you messed up, but it's not the end of the world. And yeah, like I feel like when it comes to streamers, like there are like we do like have our fair share of failures in our time. So like even if it's like, because I think one thing uh streamers have over say your regular celebrity is that because we are not earning such a massive income, because we are not like for the most part for the most part we're not just a big we're not a big people, we're just everyday people, and find that like what makes us easier to relate to than say your celebrities, so that when we do talk about our struggles and when we do talk about our
mm.
failures, uh more people are engaged to that than they would to if it was a celebrity.
Possibly. Um, I guess so. Yeah. I mean, I guess it depends what the failure is, isn't it? Like, um,
Yeah,
I don't know. It's yeah. I guess so. I guess as well with a streamer, you probably spend more time talking to them, which means you already have a bit more of a human connection than like your average celebrity.
yeah, I think that's also, yeah. uh
But then again, it depends on the level of streamer. If you look at like the really big streamers, like the ones who do sort of make
yeah,
crazy money, and who they don't. I mean, obviously they sort of talk to their chat in the way that they sort of narrate what they do and stuff, but they don't. And it's not to any fault of theirs, but they can't actually like talk to individuals in chat when they've got like thousands of people sort of
Yeah,
messaging and stuff. So I mean, I guess it like there is an end point where like you'll become the same sort of style thing.
yeah. But it's like also once again, like when it came to streamers, at least they had that point in time where they did like do this for like when they were small streamers,
Mm,
and even then, like we've talked about streamers before we started the podcast today,
mm,
and like you talked about how you wish you could like uh finally one day, like once you're able to like find the Spicy Brit stream because uh she has significantly I wouldn't say significantly, but she's had quite a bit of less time streaming as us as we
mm.
have. She's already surpassed 2,000 followers, and despite the fact that she has such a high rise, she still like seems like say like you and me when we just talk to our community. We just want to like either help out or just to joke around because I feel like that's the hallmark of a true streamer where they actually care enough to like just take the time out of their day or out of their stream to just read
Mm.
the chat, even if it's going crazy fast. And it's become a running joke in her streams that she just takes forever catching up because she just wants to like read every message. Uh,
Yeah,
and I feel
and
like
that
go ahead.
I mean, I think that's good and commendable. But like I said, I just know from like the sort of super big streamers and stuff, it's just not possible to do.
Yeah, when you
Um,
get super big, without a doubt.
because yeah, like I've watched a couple of like achievement hunter and stuff, right? But when they do like their streams in their own time, obviously because achievement hunter is like a huge thing on the internet, and then like so that you go into their stream and it's not that I mean obviously like that your follow count is always going to be massively inflated to your views. Um, but like they'll have genuinely like 2 or 3 thousand people viewing, and when you've got like those people constantly typing and stuff, like there's no way you could do anything if you wanted to keep up on chat.
Yeah, like the best thing you can do is something that you and I are not really like fans of is do sub only chats or stuff like that.
Um,
Uh,
I don't. I mean, they haven't in the ones I've seen. They generally just do. They will just talk and narrate what they're doing, and
yeah,
but rather than talk to an individual, they'll just be like chatting generally, and it's just whether or not. So I guess it's kind of like a live YouTube video, I suppose.
yeah. Also, I guess in that regard,
Um,
because they are hired to be entertainers, by a company, uh,
they're already very entertaining people.
yeah,
Yeah.
so they don't really have that issue of like, and I guess that's something that you develop when you grow as a streamer. Like if you were to
Mm.
dip us headfirst into like, say we've immediately got 100,000 follows on Twitch, and we have to start streaming, and we get an average of 1,000 views.
Yeah, you'd
Uh,
have no idea what to do, would you?
yeah,
Like it would be
you would
insane.
have no idea. It would just be a just chatting stream the entire time. Uh,
But yeah, that's it. If you actually want to do something other than chat, there is no way you could keep up with chat once you get to that level.
yeah, exactly.
Um, I mean, I've seen again like a couple of like the really famous like esports people when they do their streams and stuff. Like I've watched a couple of like Sonic Fox's streams and stuff, and like it's the same sort of thing. Like there's no way you could keep up with chat if you want to actually do a thing.
Yeah,
And where there's obviously like the esports people are very much paid by people to stream their game, it's like, well, they have to actually do it.
yeah, exactly. And I feel like that's one of the blessings that I feel like I like when it comes to streaming. I
Mm.
genuinely don't know what I would prefer over doing it full time as a job and being big and financially being completely fine with it, or just sticking to being a smaller streamer where I can actually have a bit more of a connection to my community.
But
And
I think you can do both. Certainly, you
yeah,
can. There is definitely a point where because I mean I know full time streamers who still can talk with all their chat stuff. There's definitely a point when you get to maybe like I don't know I guess also it depends how generous your community is and stuff, and how like willing they are to like keep subbing and giving bits and stuff. Like the
Yeah.
more people do that, the sooner, like the smaller community you need to be able to go full time if that's what you wanted to do or say. Whereas, obviously, if your community doesn't often give like bits or sub or whatever, you need more people in to be able to do it.
Yeah, definitely. And especially like I don't know if like I'm probably just talking out my arse here, but I feel like when it comes to big streamers versus small streamers, when it comes to their communities, the small
Mm,
streamers that you talk to that would have the generosity to sub or cheer bits, uh, normally they like there's not normally those are the people like just your everyday people who don't really like have like the disposable income to do that for you like regularly at least.
mm,
Whereas you go to big streamers, not only do they have a lot more of them, but also I feel like some of them like they probably just like have like it's probably be a bit more uh accessible to said disposable income. So and considering they like the entertainment, they would happily like uh cheer or like gift subs or some or just sub themselves for that entertainment value because obviously there's more people in their chat and as a result and like we said earlier with the entertainment value of streaming, it's something that you gain experience for or you're hired to do it and yeah like I feel like that's another reason why people tend to be a bit more amenable to subbing to those who have that experience over those who are just getting started. And especially when it
mm.
comes to small streamers on Twitch in particular, there are so many of them, it's so saturated that like you don't know how long those small streamers are going to be there for. You don't know if they're going to just give up or you don't know so why would you give money to that person? Whereas these big streamers, they actually have made it, and they probably will be here for quite some time. So it'll be a bit more. It'll be put to better use in their opinions, I guess.
Um, Definitely. However, I would say giving money to the small streamer you like is more likely to make them stay.
Yeah, that is true.
Um, so like if there was a small streamer you like, I, this sounds like this is my call to arms. Hey, if there's a small streamer you
There's a
like,
small
if you
streamer you like.
you then if you give them financial support, they're less likely to give up, and it doesn't have to be. And also, I mean, well, I don't know. I just imagine it would probably mean a lot to them. Like, I'm not saying it doesn't mean a lot to big streamers, but I imagine to a small streamer, like
Yeah,
whoever gives them their first like sub or bits or something, is going to be
yeah,
a
exactly.
really big thing to compared to somebody who gets like 50 subs or stream or
Yeah,
something.
I guess
Like,
in that regard, it's like, yeah, in that sense, some point big streamers they're a bit more numb to getting subs and bits. Like they still appreciate them, but they're probably like their reactions probably a bit more numb because they're so used to it. It's like if you were to be given a bucket of ice for one day a year compared to a bucket of ice every day for a year. At one point, you're just gonna
mm,
become a bit numb to it. Like you're still gonna feel it, but it's like your reactions are going to just the outward reaction is going to be a bit more numb at the very
I
least.
don't know. I think that's one of the problems I have as a streamer is that I'm not a very like massively energetically expressive person. Like you see some sort of people and like it's like every sort of bit or sub they get or whatever, and then it's just like, wow, that's crazy, yeah. And I'm just like, thanks. And it's
Yeah,
like, and I really appreciate it. It's not my nature to sort of
yeah,
sort of
exactly.
scream and cry about everything.
Yeah,
And I'm not like knocking the people who do. Like obviously that's just who they are, and like that's fine. But I find the people who are like that, who are like really have the energy and stuff, they probably get more and get better because there's a bigger it's a bigger reaction, and it's more. It seems like they sort of care more.
yeah, I do get that because it's like, but then like because of like the nature of humans, sometimes can get a bit sus of that. So it's like someone goes like that energetic. It's like a double-edged
Mm,
sword. If you don't react enough, people may not think you care. or if you react too much,
Mm.
people may think you don't care and you're just pretending that you do. And like you just have to find,
Yeah.
in some cases, you just have to find that balance of being like, yeah, like give a bit of a loud-ish reaction, but make sure it's still true to well, at least it sounds true to what you mean. And I guess that's why I try to make sure that even if I can't, like, I'm similar to you in that, like, my vocal reactions is just a more of a thank you so much sort of thing, rather than a oh my lords, by guffins, uh, by guffins, is that a sub?
uh,
That,
and yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure it's like
yeah,
maybe it's just a thing in my head, and I've made this up. But I'm just like I sometimes feel like I come across as really like underappreciative of people who support me,
yeah, like
and
I get
I'm
that as
not.
well. Yeah, it's like
Yeah,
it's like you really do appreciate it. It's just that you can't outwardly express it.
yeah.
Uh,
Also, I like stream when everyone else in my house is asleep. Like
yeah.
I can't be too loud about these things. Like
I at least make sure that my body language and my facial expressions show that I am appreciating it, even if I am being quiet when I say my
hmm,
thank yous. Uh, like once again, like sometimes people don't have the body language for that. Sometimes they just have to sometimes they have to keep a straight face. Like I feel like what we are covering right now is just the struggles of streaming that people don't really talk about.
hmm,
Where like we both of us are small streamers, and we both have like the thing where like we struggle with like giving like loud reactions to generous things. Like
mhm.
even a follow is like despite the fact
Oh
that
yeah, follows are huge. Like
yeah
I try and do at the beginning of every one of my streams, I try and thank everyone who's followed since my last stream and stuff. And like actually, I don't think I've done it for the last few streams, which is really bad. But I always used to do it at the end as well. At the end of every stream, it would be a thank you to everyone who's followed during that stream and stuff, as well as thanking them when they actually do it.
yeah. Oh, I have the issue where I just thank too much in the middle of the stream, like uh and sometimes I don't thank enough. Like I don't have a balance. I've just realized I don't have a balance when it comes to my reactions. It's like, yeah, my reactions for the most part are usually like quiet and they may like sound unappreciated, but they really are. And
Mm.
sometimes it's like, for example, my anniversary stream with that giant 115 Brit raid. I need to stop talking about Brit every stream. uh, but like,
Whoa, nah, I didn't. Well, actually, I'll get on to that. Carry on. Sorry.
yeah. Like she gave me that massive 115 raid. First of all, 115 is the
Mm.
perfect number for a COD Zombies streamer. Second of all, like I just kept on thanking her because that was the biggest raid I've ever had, the biggest amount of views that I've ever had.
Mm.
And it still remains that way. Like the fact that you see like streamers share the generosity, and that's the thing. That's why I always say we have to raid someone at the end of every
Mm.
stream, even if like I can't like someone that I like want to raid is not online, or if no one's online, I at least try to find someone, and I say if you got recommendations, say this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like streamers like we've got a lot at our disposal, but also we've got like with that comes a lot of like drawbacks and a lot of issues with it. Like
Oh, I was convinced you were going to say with great power comes great responsibility, but.
no, if I've learned anything, anytime you say that, you just immediately die.
Oh,
And
okay.
I intend to live. Shit. Uh, but yeah, like the. Ooh, have you watched No Way Home?
No, no, I haven't.
Okay, I'm not gonna say anything then.
Please don't.
I'm not.
I'd have to. I'd feel really sad to end our friendship this way.
But yeah, after Spider-Man 1, it's like Uncle Ben says that with great power comes great responsibility. How many scenes
Mm.
later does it take for him to immediately die?
But everyone knows Uncle Ben's going to.
Yeah, like everyone knows Uncle Ben's gonna die. I don't think he actually said that in Amazing Spider-Man 1 though, did he? If I recall,
Uh,
he never said it.
I don't know.
Uh,
I went to go and see Dave Gorman a few years ago.
yeah.
And I don't know if you know him. He's a comedian. He does like lots of things with PowerPoint presentations.
Oh,
Um, and he called his tour "With great PowerPoint comes great responsibility."
No.
And then he got really annoyed because people kept going, "Oh yeah, really cool Spider-Man reference," and he was like, "Well, actually, no. The phrase like 'with great power comes great responsibility' was from this. I can't remember where he said. I know it from Spider-Man, but he was like, it was from this book that came out like years before Spider-Man existed."
You know what? That is
Uh,
probably a good reason for Uncle Ben to say it. He probably would, like, as a character, he would be the person to read that book. Uh,
yeah, well, but I just it was this thing. He got really annoyed that everyone kept being like, "Oh yeah, cool Spider-Man." He's like, "No, I don't like comics. Like, it's from this thing." And it's like, oh,
uh,
but
uh,
yeah,
yeah, where, like, uh,
but everyone knows it from Spider-Man.
everyone knows it from Spider-Man.
Mm.
To be fair, it is a true quote. Like, I feel like the reason why it's so memorable is just that it's true.
Yeah.
Like you see, no matter in what form in life that it is, like if you give someone too much power and they do bad things with it, it's because they're not taking responsibility with that power.
Mm.
Like you could talk about politicians, you could talk about celebrities, you could talk about big Twitch streamers, you could talk about big YouTubers. Like if you've got a following and you're using that in a bad way, then you're not obeying the rule of with great power comes great responsibility.
I've always been told if you have people paying attention to you, you should say something meaningful.
Yeah, exactly. Like, especially when it comes to the case
Uh,
of everyone just says life is short, and that is like once again, like you don't know how many opportunities you're going to get to say something meaningful to a bunch of people. So if you're going to have the power, like words are the most powerful things that you could ever use, more powerful than any weapon, I find. And if you're not going to use them for something meaningful, then why are you saying it at all?
hmm.
Like that's my philosophy of it.
Um, I mean, I guess that's kind of like, I mean, I know I haven't done very many of them, but when I've done like my music streams and stuff, um, I always try and include like I've done because obviously it's something like I sort of briefly mentioned it's something that affects my life of reasonable amount. I've tried to like include like songs about mental health and stuff, and being like, hey, look, these are the sort of it's important that we all like look after each other. And don't get me wrong, like the world's come a long way in sort of how it deals with mental health from where it was when I was a kid, say, but like there's still like ways to go, and it's still important to have this open discussion.
Yeah, and yeah,
And I
especially
kind of like,
especially when it comes to music. Like for me, I take music very seriously. Like you can have that
hmm,
music that just makes you just hype or makes you feel like make you feel a certain way that you want to feel. But I feel like
what's your
go ahead.
sorry, Nick? I was going to say, what's your get up and get hype song?
Oh, Sound of Madness by Shinedown. A lot of my songs are Shinedown because they really do make the most meaningful lyrics. Like the chorus to Sound of Madness is, "I created the Sound of Madness, wrote the book on pain. Yet I'm still here to explain that the darkest hour never comes in the night. You can sleep with the gun, but when are you gonna wake up and fight for yourself?" And when I say it in that way, obviously I'm thinking out of the rhyme and out of the rhythm that they give. But it
Hmm.
just shows that like sometimes like maybe your darkest hour is yet to come. And you can have like a gun to your head all you want, you can sleep with it, you can, but at some point you just have to wake up and smell the bullshit and just uh, stop your mental health from taking advantage of you and just get up
Hmm.
and go. And that also reminds me of the song "Get Up," which is their most powerful song. And like it really spoke a lot to me actually as when it came to music because the album for the song came out in 2018, which was not only the
Mm-hmm.
worst year of my life because it was during my dark days, but also it was a few months before my granddad died. And
Hmm.
Get Up it's the ultimate song for morning saying, "Hey, yeah, I know you're not doing well, but you like get up once you're ready to just get up, get a move on, and just be ready for what life throws at you. Like, and it's like don't sell yourself short, and like all these powerful like lines, and it's like that song came out at the right time for me. And if it didn't come out, I don't know where I'd be today. Probably not here.
Hmm.
Uh, but yeah, it's just like I feel like that's the way I see media. Is that if the media is not meaningful and if it's not like, or if it's at the very least not enjoyable and it's not giving people like if it's not there for a good reason, then why is it there at all? And that's why I don't really like the recent seasons of Doctor Who. Because I feel like they say
Right.
nothing while saying everything at the same time. Like they try to
Okay.
say something, but they have no meaning to it. Whereas you go back to the other areas of Doctor Who, like Stephen Moffat era had Vincent and the Doctor, which is the ultimate mental health episode, where it talks about life being a pile of good things and bad things. And then you go to the Russell T Davies era, where it's more in the background for the most part. Where, like for example, the Shakespeare Code, it's all about like how far like humanity has like come with like the way they treat ill people
Mm.
instead of beating them, and you just have the Doctor just give the guard shit for beating on a mentally ill person, and it's just a small thing in the background, but it says a lot about the character and it says a lot about humanity that how much we've grown, and also just to not forget the mistakes that we made in the past. Whereas with recent episodes of Doctor Who, it's like they're trying to the worst episode for this case is Arachnid in the UK, where they made just a fucking cheap knockoff Donald Trump. And the fucking villain of the week is giant spiders, which is always a bad idea, especially with people who have severe arachnophobia, like myself. I'm not going to watch that episode just due to the fact that there's a giant spider in it. I'm not going to
Mm.
watch that episode because there's spiders in it at all. And then so I just looked at reviews of it instead and like listened to like what people said about it. And it's like they had a knockoff character for Donald Trump who was trying to run for president, uh, and like made them the most like. What is that saying other than you've got a shitty character that is a parody of an existing character? Like, I don't get what people like. I don't get what the writers were trying to say with that episode.
It was probably trying to do satire. I mean, I don't know.
Probably,
I don't like Doctor Who. I haven't watched it, but
yeah,
I imagine it was if it was sort of directly trying to be a current figurehead, then it was probably satirical.
yeah. And the thing is, it came out in 2018, which was during the time where Donald Trump's presidency was at its quietest, uh,
Mm.
which is saying something because it was quite notorious, wasn't it? So if it happened in 2016, that would have been like fine. Like I guess people would just have taken it as a funny joke. If it happened towards the end of his reign, as I say reign, towards the end of his run for presidency, once again, might have been fine. But it happened during a time where it just felt out of place and as a result out of taste.
Mm.
Uh, yeah, and like I don't really give a damn about politics, so that's even more of a reason why I don't like the recent seasons of Doctor Who because it felt like more politics than it did stuff like that I actually cared about, like mental health. They did have occasional episodes like that, but I felt like other areas of Doctor Who did it better. And I feel like when it comes to that, TV shows, movies, streams, music, any form of medium like that represents something. Like I digest media, like it's something that I need to know how to live my life. Which I say that in a way that sounds unhealthy, like I'm dependent on it. But it's like if like something's trying to say something, then the least I can do is try and listen to it. You know.
Hmm.
And in that case, would you say that you have like any form of medium that you listen to, or like some some show or movie that stands out to something that really matters to you as a person?
Oh, I mean, loads. I mean, like, I guess music is like a very big thing. Like, I've been playing like music and writing songs since I was about 14. So for like over half my life. Which is
Okay.
and like listening to like, sorry, did I pop?
We had a bit of a bump, yeah. Uh,
Um, sorry, yeah. So like music's a really big one for me.
yeah.
Like I sort of been listening to music since I was, I don't know, 10, 11 or whatever, and I've been playing music since like writing my own songs and stuff since I was about 14. So for like over half my life. which is a very therapeutic thing to go through. It's like a really good way to like express emotions and stuff. And
Yeah,
uh,
I find writing in general like that is very therapeutic.
mm,
I'm not gonna say much, but like I do like do my own like because I really want to like get involved in a D&D campaign.
mhm.
So I've just written like stories that are set in a D&D universe that and like I can just like use it to just talk about my personal struggles, using
Yeah,
certain characters that I've created and stuff like that, and you know make it work.
genuinely one of the best streams I've ever done. Um, I played a game called Tears of a Dragon, which was, I don't know if you have talked to him much, but there's a guy in my community called Fenrir.
Oh,
Um,
I've heard of him. Yeah.
and yeah, and he made the game. It's a game he made, and it's all about. It's kind of the same thing. It's like him how he deals with his depression and like his mental illness and stuff, but in a fantasy setting. It's like a like turn-based RPG kind of like retro Final Fantasy style, but it's
Okay.
all about his actual real life mental illness and playing that. And I sort of said to him about it. Like he was like, "Oh, do you want to play this game I made?" And I was like, "Can I stream it?" And he's like, "Sure." And it was genuinely one of the best streams I've ever had. And considering I was playing this game that literally nobody's ever
Um. Uh-oh.
heard
Okay.
of.
There we go. Oh,
Oh,
we're back.
oh,
I
oh,
think
it's
we're
back.
back. I think we're back. Yeah, we're back. We're good.
Yeah. Yeah, considering I was playing this game nobody had heard of, it got like really good views and stuff, and there was loads of people in there, and it was like everyone was really up for it, and we just played the whole game in one stream, and it was amazing how everyone was like really on board for this game that like was just something that a guy I know has made.
Yeah.
Um,
Legit.
and I'd sort of like really recommend everyone plays it. It's free to download.
Ooh. Is it PC only though?
It is PC only.
Fuck, my PC will not be able to handle that. It can't handle fucking Toontown. What are we talking about? About 30 seconds ago. Well, about a minute ago. About 2 minutes ago. I can't maths. We were talking about mental health in that game.
Hmm.
Yeah, like I find when it comes to, I find like the most beautiful stories are the ones that are like based on real events. Like those are the best stories because they actually happened, and
Yeah,
there is an air of relatability for the consumers who or for the audience. And as someone
there's
who's
that.
go ahead,
What? Sorry.
go ahead, you were going to say something.
Oh, yeah, there's that game. And I can't remember what it's called, which doesn't help. I understand, but it's supposed to be really good, but very hard to get through. And I keep meaning to like look it up at some point and like try and play it.
Is it by any chance a game where like with the baby who's
Yeah,
unfortunately yeah oh like I forgot what the
like
game is, but holy fuck, that is such a powerful game.
but yeah, no, it's for people who like don't know. No, it's about this kid who gets like it's like a really little kid who gets cancer and dies, but then their parents made a game about how like going through the whole process of your child dying feels, and
Yeah,
it's like it's supposed to be one of those really like tragically beautiful things. Like it's supposed to be really well done. It's
yeah,
obviously it's a very tragic like
yeah.
circumstance, and it's a very hard thing to get through. But I keep meaning to sort of
Mm-mm. Behave, Discord.
look it up
Okay,
and
there you
I
go. Yeah. Oh, laggy, laggy, lag. There we go. We're
sorry.
back. But yeah, you've been meaning to look it up. That's where you left off.
Um, yeah, I was just saying, but maybe as a new parent, I probably shouldn't. It
Yeah,
might be
I
something to
feel
leave
like
for a
for
while.
now, you should really keep away from that. You don't want to put that thought in your head.
Mm.
Uh, yeah, like as someone who has studied A level for media, and it
Hmm.
was the only A level that I actually passed. But we'll not talk
Good
about
work.
that. um, yeah, I just find like the one thing that people like most are the stories. Like, even it can be the most supernatural story in the world, but if you've got an air of relatability to it, like it's like I said with the D&D like style stories that I make,
Mm.
uh, like they are touching upon my struggles that I'm experiencing either right now or in the past, or struggles
Mm.
that I'm going to face if they ever happen. Uh, but yeah, when it comes to like that, it's like I could make it like so that it like it's a personification of something like a metaphor, saying like, oh, this giant dragon that was brought back from the dead is a metaphor for a dead and buried past creeping up on you or something like that. Uh, you know, like I think the beauty with writing is that anyone can write, anyone can cook. Uh, but yeah, anyone can write as long as it's like not like you can have those like moments where you're talking about your own struggles, and it's really cheesy because it's so obviously about you. Uh,
Mm.
but then you have like those ones where it's like, yeah, you're talking about these struggles, but that's not the only thing about it. It's not the only thing about this one. You're not like focusing on this one struggle. You're focusing on multiple struggles, or you're not focusing on CK. There we go. There we go. Uh, but yeah, like when it comes to like those struggles that you have, uh, like and you're writing about them. It's like, and sometimes you don't have to write about your own struggles. You can write about struggles that you hear from someone else, and you can
Mm.
just like use it as a way to like help like make these characters make it a bit more easier to process. So it's,
Yes.
and I think that's why so much medium like in the Monday is successful because they touch on issues and they make them they normalize those issues so it's easier for people to understand how they're feeling.
Yeah.
Uh, and I feel like that's what's most important. Like, and like not just for personal issues, but for like societal issues, is that like we're talking about them so that people are understanding of them, and so that we can lead like using the mediums that we are writing and creating, we are leading the world to a better tomorrow. In that
Yeah.
sense. Uh, but yeah. And you know, we talked briefly about having a daughter being your parent and all that. Uh,
Yes. Oh my god, she's amazing.
yeah, we're going to talk about that. I feel like this should be our final conversation. We'll make it a big conversation. Our final
Okay.
conversation. We're going to talk about your daughter, uh,
Oh.
and you know, and to an extent, I say we talk about your wife as well, Katie. Uh,
She's pretty good too.
yeah, she's pretty good.
Yeah. No.
uh, Well, I feel like with that, we should talk about how you and Katie met.
We met at college. It was really weird actually. Yeah, we met at college. Um, in our so we sat next to each other in history. Um, we were actually in a lot of the same classes. It was just only in history we sat next to each other, and that was sort
Yeah.
of how we got talking and stuff. Um,
Oh,
even
come on.
through like all and stuff, but even through secondary school, we it turns out we had a load of friends in common, and it was really weird that we just never crossed paths.
Oh, that reminds me of the story of how an old high school friend, my former friend, I should say, from high school,
Mm.
uh, met my best friend without actually seeing them. So we all know, anyone in the UK knows what Sainsbury's is. It's a
Mhm.
supermarket. At one point, my friend used to be a mischievous little bugger. To put it like, and he had like neighborhood like friends, and what they did at one point is silly string an entire aisle of Sainsbury's. And then apparently later that day, my former friend from high school walked in and just saw all the silly string there. And it's weird to see
Mm.
how close, yet so far, a friend can be before you've even met him. The
Mm.
fact that that happened because he silly strings an aisle in Sainsbury's. Oh, chaos. Childhood is chaos. Uh, And yeah, so you met Katie in college. So you met each
Yes.
other in history, and you had a load of friends in common. Uh,
Yeah.
when did you
Um.
were you was it a case of like you became friends and then discussed dating, or was it a case of like you started dating almost right away?
Uh. I think we've been. So the way they, I don't know if this is a normal thing. The way our college did it is you kind of finish your first year like in sort of May, and then you have like a couple of months of second year before
Go on, Discord.
summer
Behave.
holidays, and then you sort of do. Am I back?
You're back. Yeah, you said you finished in May, got a few months of second
Yeah.
year before second year.
So I guess we kind of like started getting to know each other in like these weird couple of months of second year. Then you have your summer holidays where we sort of didn't see each other. Um, and then yeah, I guess we were sort of friends for a couple of months, and then just sort of things clicked, and we didn't really sort of talk about dating. It just sort of happened.
Yeah, like
Um, like I don't feel like I've ever been on a. I've never like dated somebody. We've just sort of
hung out.
ended up being together.
Yeah, I don't like. I've never really understood that because for me, like, I'm guessing because I'm Gen Z, which also means I am basically the concept of awkwardness. I've always thought like the way that dating, like the way that you get with someone was always through the act of dating
Mm.
first.
Um,
Or like if you're a mega mad lad, one night stands. But uh, yeah,
Yeah,
like
no, I've never really had like, I mean, I've gone out on, I guess, dates with people once we've been a couple, but I've never like dated to see if we should be a couple. It's always just kind of, I
yeah,
don't know.
it just always just happened.
Yeah, I mean, I like with Katie, I mean, it was just a case of we were chatting one day, and then it was on these, and then it was on a day when I finished like at lunchtime, like I didn't have any afternoon lessons. So but I was like, well, I'll hang around for lunch and like chat to people, and then when they go to their afternoon class, I'll go home. Um, but she had a class that afternoon, and then it was sort of I was walking with her to her class, and then she kissed me, and then went to class, and I went home, and then I spent the rest of that night being like, well, what does that mean?
Yeah. Oh my
You know,
god.
and then I went to college the next day, and I was like, I don't know. I went and talked. It was just kind of a
Yeah.
thing from there, and we were just
What
like, well, that's it.
what I like most about that story is the fact that you basically have the opposite reactions as me, or like we have the same reactions over the opposite circumstance. You're there getting kissed and being like, oh, what the fuck does that mean? What does that mean at all? And I'm like that if someone gives me a fucking compliment. Being like, hey, you got nice hair today. What do they mean? I've got bald patches. How does that mean I've got nice hair? Do they fancy me? But yeah,
A little,
yeah, like I just try like I think my brain has the curse of overthinking stuff. Uh,
yeah.
but
No,
yeah,
I definitely do that.
yeah. Uh, but yeah, so yeah, it just kind of happened, which that is a very fascinating story. Like I hear like quite a bit about like when friends and people streamers when anyone talks about like their relationships, the ones that I hear that go, "Oh, it just happened," I'm just like, I'm just there just thinking, how, how is that possible? Like this does not equal that, or does it?
I
Like,
don't know. Like we'd been hanging out for a while, and like I say, getting closer and being like really good friends. And like a few of my friends had sort of said to me like before, I said, "Oh, you definitely like her, don't you?" And I was like, "Yeah." And I'd sort of planned to, I don't know, ask her out or something at some point in the future. I was just sort of, I don't know, as a very awkward 17-year-old, I was very much working myself up to it. I was I was going to get there, and then I guess she just kind of beat me to it.
yeah, I tell you what, like, uh, with you like someone and they beat you to it. For me, it is like the opposite like situation where I like someone because like and they just wanted to stay friends, so I was just like, oh, okay, fine.
Oh, I mean, I've had that
And
loads of times in my life too. Like,
yeah, I mean, without a doubt, yeah. And the thing is, like, because like we're talking about a similar age of the age of 17, we were both when
mm,
like yeah we met this said person, and for me it was just like um yeah like I liked them. I didn't know whether or not like I had feelings for them. And then like at one point they were dating someone at the time, so I was like, okay, treat him as a friend, that's it. And then the moment that
mm.
they broke up with their partner, I was just like, what is this that I'm feeling right now? Because normally it would be like the side empathy, which I felt a little bit of, but I felt like it was like I feel something else here as well. And I was like, oh shit, oh no, I like them. Oh no. And me being me, I thought, you know what? I'm not going to be an asshole. I'm just going to wait for them to just get over it. And then some dickhead struck first, and they got together. And yeah, I really did not like that person who did that. Not just because of that, but also because
Yeah, all right.
they were just a bit of an asshole as well, and just treated
Hmm.
her like an asshole. And so as a result, it was just like, okay. And then they broke up, and at that point, it was like I was like, I'm over it. I'm over it. I'm not having. I'm like. I'm not bothering trying anything like that anymore. Uh. So yeah, like when it comes to dating life, we had very opposite like results for very similar feelings.
My dating life was really weird actually. Like, I think in my as an interest in like girls, I was probably quite a late bloomer. And then like through sort of school and stuff, like I didn't really have. I think I maybe towards the end of school, but like I had a lot more of the sort of like, hey, do you want to go out? And they were like, no, and I was like, cool. Um, you know,
Yeah, a lot of
but then like,
rejections.
yeah, well, I mean, not a lot. Like I say, I didn't really
Well,
go for
a lot for the
many.
time. Like,
Yeah, yeah, it probably seemed like a lot then, but
yeah.
I don't know. And then, but
Mm-mm.
as soon as I sort of started college, I didn't have a girlfriend. I don't know what it was. Suddenly, being awkward and nerdy was cool. Like, I don't. So between like the age of like 16 and 17, I did surprisingly well in the girlfriend department, I guess.
Yeah, I
I
guess.
mean, none of them were ever like serious or like really went anywhere until Katie. But like, I often, I don't know, at least had a girlfriend.
Yeah.
Which I don't know on paper seems very odd to me because, like I say, very awkward and
Yeah,
nerdy and
I think I think during the era where awkward and nerdy started to become the cool thing,
yeah, I
you were in luck.
yeah, that's it. It was the height of emo. I was doing okay.
Yeah, you're doing quite all right. And
It's
so
like,
yeah,
hey, I was just like, hey, I really like the used.
yeah.
Do you want to hang out? We can listen to some screamo. That's fine.
uh, so yeah, like you had quite a bit of success in college that led you to meeting Katie and getting with her. How long did
Hmm.
you date before you thought to propose?
Um, well, I mean that's actually a weird question as well. So about a year and a bit official, like kind of. But Katie had always sort of said to me she wanted to be living together and for us to have lived together.
Mm-mm. Come on, Discord. Discord. Oh,
Oh, mine says it's got a good connection.
yeah, okay,
Um,
okay. So you said something about living together, and that was where it cut
yeah,
off.
yeah. Katie always sort of said she wanted to live together for a while, making sure so we can make sure like living together would work because obviously that's very different to dating somebody.
Yeah,
Um, and she wanted to make sure that would work before we got married. So I don't know. I had it in my mind it would be this really romantic thing if like before we went to uni because she was going to go to uni in like a different city and stuff, and I wouldn't see her much. If I would like propose then, which obviously I knew she didn't want me to, so I didn't. But I remember taking her out on this picnic in the woods and sort of saying, "Hey, this is when I was originally thinking about proposing to you.
Oh,
Um, so that was it. But I didn't actually propose until, I don't know. We'd been going out. Well, we'd been going out for 10 years when we got married. So I guess I proposed about 9 years into our relationship.
that's a pretty decent amount of time, to be fair. When you like one of my friends got proposed to recently. She was
Mm.
with her boyfriend for 4 years. I'm sure you know who this person
Hmm.
is. Because I guess I may as well say because she made it official on live on her Twitch. Mirror. It was Mirror who got proposed to.
All right. I
Yeah.
didn't know that, but yeah, okay.
And like the moment she made the announcement on her stream, I was just like, "Holy fuck!" And you didn't tell me because you
I
knew.
know. Well, cool for her.
Yeah, like good for her. Especially like her fiance is a really nice bloke. She's a really nice
Mm.
person. Like it's like and like the way that I hear those two like when they objectively talk about each other, like think, oh, I've got to do this or I've got to do that for my partner. Like whenever I hear any of those two doing something for each other, it's like they're the perfect team. It's like a match made in heaven. And it's just like, yeah, I couldn't be any happier for both of them. I was like so happy. It just like I was having a shitty time as well, like during the time where. So that really actually made my day to know that because she Mira goes through a lot of shit in her life.
Mm.
It was good for her to finally catch a bit of a break, you know.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, definitely.
yeah, and yeah. Uh, I was just so happy. But yeah, so you proposed 9 years into your relationship. Uh,
Yes, that sounds about right.
yeah. When it came to the wedding, was it a big wedding? Was it a small wedding? Was it a medium-sized
Um,
wedding? Did you have sprinkles on the wedding?
let's say medium sized.
Was it medium-sized?
Oh,
Okay.
I think I don't know. I can't remember now. Kay would probably be able to tell you. I think we maybe had about 150 people there.
Yeah, that's not.
Probably,
For me, 150
maybe.
is a big wedding.
I don't know. I have. There might actually it might be closer to 100. Yeah, probably closer to 100. I don't know. We had like we had family and we had friends. We had
Yeah. Uh-oh.
the people we needed.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
you had family, you had friends.
yeah. It
Um,
was like
yeah,
everyone you'd expect.
yeah.
It was pretty good.
It was pretty good.
It was pretty good. I liked it. Yeah, it was a really nice
It
day.
was an 8 out of 10. Pretty good.
No, I don't know. I get weird talking about things.
Yeah,
Um,
like when it
no,
comes,
it
yeah, when you come to talk about like something as important as a wedding, you do like tend to have like I feel like I have the same thing where it's just like you just like you want to say like it's the best day of your life, but that's just so stereotypical. So you're like, it's pretty good. It was a pretty good day because it's a
yeah. I mean,
bit more of
I
a
don't know if it was my life, but I mean, it was probably top 10.
definitely top 10. Yeah. Um.
Um, but it was very nice. And obviously, it was so incredible to like have Katie like with me officially, I guess is the word, because like all jokes aside, she's genuinely just such an incredible woman, and I I
Yeah.
I I will never feel like I'm deserving of them into my life because she's just so wonderful. And
Yeah.
obviously, like we make jokes and I'll talk shit about her all the time, but
That's just how
like when we're
relationships go, isn't it?
yeah, but when we're being honest, she's just like one of the best people that this world has ever seen and ever will see, and she's just got so much kindness to give out. Then it's just so amazing that she does it to me.
Yeah, like I've like my interactions with Katie are very limited because it's only whenever you're around, is it? And you always say,
Mm.
"Oh, Katie says this," and I'm like, "Okay, tell her I said that," and that's basically the extent of
Yeah, she's not.
my
She's
interactions
not.
with her.
I mean, she's done a couple of streams with me and stuff,
Oh
but she's
yeah,
not. It's not really her sort of thing.
yeah,
She doesn't really like to be the center of attention in any way.
yeah. So yeah, like from what I do here, like, and from what I have experienced, she just seemed like a very humble person, and a
Mm.
very kind-hearted person. Uh,
Absolutely.
and you say that like you're not deserving of someone like her, but also it's like you're also a very kind person. You are also a very humble person. So it's like
Oh,
you could
she would say the same of me. like,
yeah
like, I think that's
uh
how you know that
yeah
you're in a good place, isn't it? Is if
yeah,
you think the absolute world of this person.
and they think the absolute world of you.
Yeah, like
Oh
if that's it, isn't it? It's like
yeah
if you think if you're in one of those relationships when you're like, yeah, this person's suited to me, then I don't think
yeah
you should love them more. Like, I don't
yeah
know. I just think that she's great, and I can't get the words out. But you know what I mean.
yeah.
I'm very
I
lucky.
think the best thing about your relationship with her is the fact that it's also like the best friendship as well. Like, it's like what I said with Mirror and her fiance. It's like they are like a team, and they
Mm.
are the best friends. They are, uh, like just like, and they are that without the relationship, and with the relationship, it becomes something truly special.
Yes.
And I guess in your case, it became so special that you chose to have a daughter. Uh,
Yeah. That's a new thing.
yeah,
Um,
relatively
she
new.
she's great.
Yeah,
She's so big, like it's insane.
yeah.
She just keeps growing. I mean, I know babies do that, but like
She just keeps
we
growing.
we've
She's going to
well,
be a
no,
big
like we.
dog.
I think she is. Like we've started putting her in like 3 to 6 month clothing as of yesterday.
And how old is she
And
now?
she like 2 months.
Damn. Oh yeah, she is like 2 months.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, she was 2 months 10 days ago. So 2 months and 10 days, and she's
nice.
just started in for 3 to 6 month clothing.
So
Um,
that's good progress.
hmm,
Yeah. And you named your daughter Lyra, which is just an amazing
yes.
name. Like it,
Y-
I'm not just saying this because you're my friend and it's what I have to
Mhm.
say. But Lyra is such a good name. Like,
Yeah. It was like it's. We wanted something that was sort of like unusual enough that not everybody would have that name, but not so unusual that when people heard it, they'd be like, "Oh, that's a weird name."
yeah, that's how you know you got a good name. It's just like you find the balance
Mm.
of
And
uncommon but not unusual.
yeah, and I really like it because I mean it came from his Dark Materials, like the Philip Pullman books.
Oh, I love the fucking. I love his Dark Materials, the Golden Compass, and the Northern Lights. Like
Those are right.
I've read
Wait,
it. I've watched them
his,
both.
his Dark Materials is the name of the trilogy. It's not like a thing, and the Northern Lights of the Golden Compass are the same.
Oh,
It's just the
I
Golden
know,
Compass
but
is the American. Oh,
uh,
okay.
the Golden Compass is the film that I watched. His Dark
All
Materials
right.
is the TV show that I watched. The Northern Lights is the
Got
book
you.
that I read. Just so you
Okay.
know.
Sure.
Uh,
Yeah. But yeah, that's where the name came from because when I was a kid, those were my favorite books. Um, her middle name is Alice, which is from Alice in Wonderland, which is Katie's favorite books as kids,
also,
as a kid.
I'm just saying, Alice in Wonderland.
Mm.
It's got a sequel called Alice Through the Looking Glass or something like that.
Alice through the Looking Glass and what she found there.
Shinedown
Yeah.
made a song called "Her Name Is Alice" for that film.
Mm. All right.
I just have to say that. Like,
In this moment, made a whole concept album around Wonderland. It's really cool.
damn.
Mm.
Uh, I guess because you're secondhand CK, that would make you the second generation. Would that make a third hand LK?
Maybe. Well, no, I'm secondhand CK purely because my Xbox is secondhand.
Ah, so
That's where that comes from. I needed
oh, come on,
a
Discord.
gamer tag.
Yeah, oh yeah, you need a gamer tag. Okay. Oh, come on.
Uh,
Okay.
I needed a gamer tag. My friend brought a new Xbox and gave me his old one.
Ah, that's nice. So you just had to get a gamer tag from a second hand for a second hand
Yeah.
Xbox, and you thought second hand CK. That's
Yeah.
nice.
Well,
Yeah.
I've been using CK games for ages because When you put your own name in, it only gives you a certain number of characters, and Christopher is too long. It doesn't fit in games.
Oh, yeah.
So CK got made.
Yeah, I have that issue as well
Mm.
because Outcast Chris with the space is one character too much. So I have to have it without the space and I have to have it with the numbers. Oh, but yeah, like Xbox gamer tags, they are like they need to make them longer. They need to make it 20 characters just for me and just for you. Uh, yeah. So yeah, you now have a daughter called Lyra, named
Hmm.
after the historic materials and Alice in Wonderland.
Yes.
Uh, yeah, and you did a thing, didn't you, for like people to, I think, guess the birthday. I think when
Yeah,
you were
that was
born.
really fun.
Yeah.
Um,
Did anyone
yeah,
win?
yes, of course somebody won. Um,
Because there were 30 people
None won
there.
actually. No, no. Well, I always said if you don't get the exact date, it'll be whoever's closest.
Uh,
But yeah, I did a giveaway. If somebody wanted to win a secondhand CK T-shirt, you know, which are available in my merch store. Just saying.
yeah. If you
Uh,
want to have you want to have some slick secondhand CK merch, go to his streams right now.
yeah,
Click on the link for
exclamation mark.
merch.
Oh, I don't know if there is a link. Exclamation mark shop in the chat.
Yeah, if you go to his, not to mine,
Um,
to his.
but yeah. No, so yeah, I did a giveaway for like it was just whoever get you can. All I said to people was that she's due in November. I didn't tell them what day in November. I just said she's due in November, and everyone can have a guess. Obviously, I can't afford to give away loads of t-shirts, so if somebody has already guessed that day, you can't have it. It's a first come first served basis. But everyone make a guess. Who wants to? Whoever is correct or closest wins a t-shirt.
Did the winner get it bang on?
Yes, yes, they did.
Oh, what was the date? I've completely forgot.
The 16th of November.
That's it. Yeah, 16th. I knew it was either 15th or 16th. I couldn't remember.
Yeah,
But yeah,
she was due. She was due on the 10th,
yeah.
I think.
That's the way with babies, isn't
No,
it? They are due like for a certain time, and then it's off either too early by about a week or too late by about a week. And I know, like
hey,
in
sorry,
conversation,
she wasn't due on the 10th. She was due on the 6th. Yeah, she was 10 days late.
yeah, so like a week to 10 days, it's normally like that's normally the way with babies. And I know
Hmm.
like when like she was past the due date, you were getting a bit nervous. I was like, it's just the way. Don't worry about it. It's just the way that it happens.
It
Um,
wasn't necessarily that I was getting nervous. It was that Katie was getting very unhappy with being heavily pregnant because it's quite hard.
yeah, that is fair. Like being
Um,
like I feel like at what point would you say Kate started to really struggle with being pregnant? Like how far into the
uh,
pregnancy?
Really, just the last month, she actually was doing really well. I mean, again, like absolute credit to her. She was doing like she was a bit sick at the beginning, but other than that, she sort of really did like well, looked after herself and kept going and stuff. It was really just sort of the last month it started to take a toll.
Yeah. Uh,
And then I think like once you go past the due date, there's always that like expectancy,
yeah, of like
and the sort
when
of
to stop.
yeah, very much that.
Yeah. I remember I was 9 years old when my mum had my little sister, and she was
Mm.
actually due on the 7th, but she came like 6 days early. So it was like we didn't have the issue of uh her like being like born late. It was more of a case of, oh, okay, this happened sooner than expected.
Hmm.
And then, yeah, I think it was either the next day or the day after that. Uh, my dad took me and my older sister to see her, and that was the last time I would have ever found the word peace. uh, yeah, chaos to perfectly way to describe my past. It was 9 years ago. My past 11 years. Uh, just chaos. Yeah, but that being said, you know, siblings are siblings. It is what it is.
Hmm.
And yeah, like, um, I feel like despite the fact that she was when it came to Lyra, when despite the fact that she was 10 days late born, she's certainly making up for it by growing very quickly. uh,
Yeah, well, she was really big when she was born. I think she was in the 75th percentile for like length.
ah,
Um, so she's very long. I mean, she's pretty skinny. I mean, she's starting to chub out a little bit now, but like, she didn't have a lot of weight to her. She was just very long. Um, I mean, she's got a bit of a like. I mean, it's getting a lot better now, which is good.
ooh,
But she basically just ran out of room when she was inside Katie, and like her legs curled up.
oh yeah,
But so she is long.
yeah, but like I said, at the time she was not very heavy. Uh,
No,
in that sense. But yeah, I mean, I feel like when it comes to that, it's like it's just like you're a first time parent. It like there are just some things that you do be concerned about, but then in the long run, they just tend to be either nothing or like a small feature, and that's about it. In that
yeah.
sense, I'd say I think for our final question today, uh,
Hmm.
when it comes to your time being a first time parent,
Hmm.
uh, before you became parents, how did it feel like? What were your expectations, and what has changed since you've become parents?
Um, I don't know. I guess our expectation was that it would be very difficult, and there are certainly hard moments, but it's actually a lot easier raising a newborn than people make out, or at least for us. I think we're quite lucky, actually. I think she's a very good baby. There are definitely some that are difficult, um,
Yeah,
and but I think we're quite lucky. Like, I mean, she already sleeps through the night, which is really good for like a 10 weeks, um, and she doesn't fuss too much. She's quite bad in the evening, actually. Like, she's very like shouty and screamy, sort of between like 9 p.m. and midnight. Like that's sort of her bad time. But other than that, 3 hours, she's usually pretty good.
yeah,
So we've got it quite easy, which has been nice. So I guess in that respect, it's been like much better than we expected. Um,
yeah,
it's also it's like you obviously you go into it going, oh, I'm going to have this baby and it's going to change my life and I'm going to love it forever. But when you actually like get it, you want the amount of like feeling you have for it is very sort of different.
yeah,
I mean, it's bigger than you think it's going to be.
yeah,
Um, yeah, and it's just amazing. Like I can't. Obviously, I understand that some people don't want kids and stuff, but I sort of think like
oh,
if kids is can't recommend it enough. Like
uh, okay,
it's just really wonderful.
yeah. You may want to restart that last sentence about not wanting kids because your Discord did the thing again.
Sorry. Uh, Sorry. Yeah, I was just saying like I understand some people don't want kids, but I just sort of think if it's something that you're like interested in and you're in a relatively stable sort of financial situation, then you should do it because it's just so wonderful. Like it sounds weird to be like, yes, have kids. Like, but if it's something you genuinely want to do, it has been incredible. And
Yeah.
I don't know.
I guess like that's always going to be the way. Like it's just not like people say what to expect, and you just it ends up being nothing like that, no matter
Yeah,
what it is.
there's there's also like quite a lot of like I think there's a lot of like downsides to it as like not downsides, it's the wrong word. There's a lot of things people don't talk about that we didn't necessarily expect that have come up. Like
Yeah,
I won't go into too much detail, but like the Katie didn't have a particularly like good birth. Like it was quite a traumatic experience and stuff. And like I mean, obviously you know these things can happen, but like when you go through it, it's so it's like as the person just standing there watching, I can comfortably say it was one of the worst days of my life to watch her go through all of this. You know, so God knows what she feels like. Obviously, the outcome was incredible because we now have a beautiful daughter. But the actual experience was pretty horrific, and like mad respect to anyone who's given birth. Like, I mean, I respected mums anyway, but like now having seen it, like it's incredible. Everyone should go and appreciate their mum more. And then like there's all different like things that can come up, like different sort of. Again, I don't want to sort of go into it too much, and like, but there's lots of like things that can happen. Like you get weird sort of different emotional responses that aren't always positive about like your partner or your baby at first, and they're all really normal like things. Obviously, like there's still the whole I love them loads and stuff, but like sometimes there's a few like, weird things that happen that nobody really talks about, and it would have been really cool to sort of know that these things might come up before. Which means it's sort of a down note to end on. I apologize, but like,
yeah,
yeah. You know, so I guess in that respect, like it's but ultimately it has been genuinely like wonderful, and I'm really happy that we have her, and she's so cool.
Yeah,
and she's the cutest baby ever. I won't hear anything about it.
So cool. Must take after both parents. But yeah,
she's like looking at her and stuff. Like her face is basically like my face but small. And then she's got Katie's eyes, and then she's going to be really blonde like Katie is. But like the actual like face is we looked at like my baby photos, and I'm like, that's just the same.
That's just me.
Yeah, it's just me now. I was like, she shouldn't have my face. She's a girl. Like she should be beautiful and wonderful. Not stuck with my face.
Oh, stop it! You're a very beautiful person, TK. But yeah, I think that's where we are going to end the podcast, guys.
Cool.
We struggled through technical difficulties, but we got there.